Hi, this is Sue Jackson of the Book by Book blog, and I'm here today to talk about Nonfiction November. As you can see, I have quite the stack here. I obviously will not be able to read all of these in November. I just pretty much cleared my shelves of the nonfiction that I've been planning to read. I'm going to take a page from Mitzi of Mitzi Reads and Write. Check out her channel. I'll include it down below. When she talked about her Nonfiction November, she talked about her pile of possibilities, and that's what this is. It's my pile of possibilities. I know I won't get to everything, but I hope to get to some of them. So this is kind of interesting for me because I've done Nonfiction November for many, many years, but I've always done it in the blogging world. I've had my book blog for 17 years now, I think, and there are several bloggers that host Nonfiction November every year, and I usually participate in that. So this will be my first year also participating in the booktube version of Nonfiction November, which is hosted by a book olive. I'll include the link down below. So a book olive outlines 4 different categories or themes that might match up with your nonfiction reads in November. And those categories are record or record, element, border, and secret. So we'll see how my books in November match up to those themes. I'm just going to go really quickly through this pile of possibilities so you can see what I hope to read in November or what I'll be choosing from. First up, Seabiscuit by Laura Hillenbrand. Laura's an outstanding author, but she's also my personal hero. She has the same chronic illness that I have, ME/CFS. She's written about her challenges and what she's been through. Most astoundingly, she wrote Seabiscuit. Much of it she wrote lying on her back in her bed with her eyes closed with a pad of paper and a pencil. At the time, her vertigo was so bad, she couldn't sit up, she couldn't open her eyes. She's just amazing what she has accomplished in the midst of such severe chronic illness. So she's a real hero of mine. I loved Unbroken, and I can't believe I still haven't read Seabiscuit. My husband's read it and said it was amazing. This is the year I'm going to get to it. As for the themes, certainly Seabiscuit set some records, so I'm looking forward to reading that. I've also got Tell Me More by Kelly Corrigan. This is a series of 12 essays, stories about the 12 hardest things I'm learning to say. I have really enjoyed listening to interviews with Kelly Corrigan. I read a very short book of hers last Nonfiction November called Lift, which was 4, I think, essays or letters pretty much written to her children. So I'm really looking forward to this. I know she writes essays that are moving and funny, and that sounds right up my alley. So hoping to, this was on my stack for Nonfiction November last year, definitely going to get to it this year. And I don't know, but perhaps Kelly divulges some secrets in her writing. This one has been on my shelf for I don't know how long. Let's see when it was published. So this was published in 2009. I think I picked it up in a bookstore when it was relatively new. The Girls from Ames, A Story of Women and a 40-Year Friendship by Jeffrey Zaslow. I've been meaning to read this forever. It's nonfiction about this group of women from Iowa who were best friends from childhood through 40 years. So have always wanted to read it. It's been on my shelf for more than 10 years. And I do hope to get to it. If not this year, then soon. And I suspect there are some secrets here as well. Almost French, Love and a New Life in Paris by Sarah Turnbull. This is a memoir. I think my mother lent this one to me. She read it and enjoyed it and thought that I would enjoy it too. And I haven't gotten to it yet, but I hope to. I have a couple of Erik Larsons on my stack. One is Dead Wake, which is the story of the Lusitania, the last crossing of the Lusitania. The Lusitania was a large passenger ship that was bombed during World War I, so killing mostly civilians. So my husband's read it. In fact, I think I gave it to my husband. He said it's very good. I also gave it to my stepfather, and he enjoyed it too. So gonna have to give this one a try. I love Erik Larson. His nonfiction books are always told in such a way that they read like novels. They're usually gripping and compelling. So I'm sure Dead Wake is just as good. This, I'm sure, since it takes place during wartime, has to do with both borders and secrets, as well as a historical record of what really happened. Next up is Walden by Henry David Thoreau. I'm sure everyone is familiar with this classic. I have never read Thoreau. Back in the spring for Booktopia, I read a book called 6 Walks in the Footsteps of Henry David Thoreau by Ben Shattuck, who was an author at Booktopia. I loved that book, and Ben included excerpts from Thoreau's writing, and it made me realize, you know, I love the outdoors. I love nature. I really need to read Thoreau. I got this as a birthday gift, and I can't wait to read it. This might be, I haven't read a classic in a couple of months, so this might be my first book for Nonfiction November. This will definitely be a record of Thoreau's time at Walden, as well as definitely taking place out in the elements. The Zookeepers Wife by Diane Ackerman. This is a nonfiction book that I picked up in one of our little free libraries in the area. So if you look at my little free library vlog tour, you will see me finding this. I was determined to just get rid of books and not take any home, but I did bring this home, and one for my husband. I've been meaning to read this ever since it was published, which was back in 2007. It's the story of during World War II, well, before and during World War II, the zookeeper and his wife at a zoo in Poland, how they cared for the animals before the war, and then during the war, they were Polish Christians, and it's about how they helped hundreds of people escape from the Nazis. So really looking forward to this. It sounds fascinating. When it was first published, I heard wonderful things about it. So I know I keep saying this. I'm hoping to get to this one. Definitely deals with borders and secrets, big secrets. And finally, probably the biggest one. Yeah. Ooh. Wow. Definitely the biggest one on my stack. So I don't know if I'll have a chance to get to it. The Splendid and the Vile, another one by Erik Larson. Now, my husband and I have read a lot of Larson books. He's read 2 more than I have, these 2 in the stack. He says this is Larson's best, which sounds amazing, but it is over 500 pages. And as you can see, I've got a lot of nonfiction I hope to fit in November. So that's going to be a tough decision because it is supposed to be absolutely amazing. Oh, I didn't mention it's about the life of Winston Churchill during World War II. So I trust my husband's judgment that it's one of his best. I really want to read it. Not sure I'll get to it this November given the size, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. And this is certainly a historical record it is definitely going to be about borders and secrets too. So that is my pile of possibilities for Nonfiction November. I hope you'll join in the fun. Let me know down below what you plan to read in November, whether you're participating in Nonfiction November or doing something else. Let me know in the comments down below.